Okay, I think we should be going. We are rolling.
Oh no.
I know.
What are we recording?
This is a podcast.
All right, guys. Remember, we only get one shot at this.
But he got 8.
I can't.
Still just leaving immediately.
He got 8? Really, Kennedy?
Oh. All right.
Chaos Magic News. Broken News. Special Report. CMA.
Welcome, everyone. Sounds like a machine gun Kennedy, and this is Chaos Magic News, the quickest draw in news. Joining me, as always, is my, I don't know. What do I got?
As always, by hook or Matthew Crooks, it's co-host.
Oh, God.
How are you doing, co-hosts? I have to do the entire intro for you. I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Kennedy?
I'm mediocre.
Well, how's your day going, rather?
Oh, pretty good, in fact.
All right, cool. So you're all probably wondering, gee, you guys are talking about news that happened this week. What gives? Well, we're going to try a new sort of quick form segment. This is just going to be like somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes where we go over a very big news story. And man, if you needed a great kickoff point, you couldn't ask for more than former presidential candidate in the running gets shot at.
Yeah, kind of hard to beat that. In fact, we will be hard pressed to find news worthy of covering in this format in the future because of that. Well, yeah, the election
results. Joe Biden stepping out. If Joe Biden steps down, that'll probably. If
Joe Biden steps out into traffic,
Baskin Robbins comes up with a new flavor. That's pressed. That's a big one.
Right. But because obviously you're not going to come and enjoy that just for our terrible opinions, we also have other people with terrible opinions. So we have our lovely panel of guests, friends of the show, patrons, all sorts of things. So running down that list real quick, we have the wonderful Andrea WK. You remember her from the Patreon episode. Hi, Andrea.
Hello, how are you all?
Well, we've already done that part, so sorry.
So moving on.
Also joining us, another person who's been on the show before, we have Local. Local, say hello.
Hey, guys.
See, that's how you do it. You don't ask any questions, just do what I tell you. And also joining us, we have someone that has been one of our earliest supporters, and it's kind of crazy they haven't been on the show before this, but we have Silver. Hi, Silver.
I'm rethinking this.
They're so you probably should, but just I wanted to kick it off with this just because I'm curious. Where were all of you when you got the news that the president had been shot at, or the former president had been shot at?
Where were you when the world stopped turning?
No, I made this joke before you got here.
Oh,
Where were you when Trump's ear started spurting?
Oh, that's funny. That's way funnier.
Great.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, yeah, but seriously, where were all of you when you got the news? I was sitting in a hotel room just hanging out with my beloved. It was our anniversary. We were just enjoying ourselves. And then suddenly I get a message in the Discord saying, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then, oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
I'm unemployed, so I was playing games on my computer and didn't see it for probably at least an hour or two, and then closed out of my game, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Andrea's mom being like, you didn't notice the president been shot because you're always on that damn Xbox.
I have a PC, thank you.
Ooh.
I'm a trans girl. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit. Congratulations on being better than me.
Local, what were you doing?
I was about to get in the shower, and my wife goes, hey, Trump's just been shot. And I was like, LOL, that's funny. And then she came in and, like, drugged me out of the bathroom and put me in front of the TV. And I was like, holy shit. And then I think I got on the Discord.
Like, baby, you was for real? I thought this was a joke.
No, for real, I was straight up like, that's funny. And then
And it's
turns
like,
out
good
it
one,
was
baby.
funny.
I love the implication of like, what? Why do I have to watch this? Like, he's not going to get less shot, and my balls aren't going to get less dirty just standing here. All right, let me go wash my ass. I'm trying to think. I was actually, I had basically gotten up early to do a bunch of work on my folks' pool because the guy that they normally have do it got his car impounded. It's a big thing. Anyway, so I got up early to do that. So I spent all day getting this pool whipped into shape, making it nice and pretty. And then me and my beloved were like, all right, we've done all this work. Let's enjoy a couple laps. And then I get out like a minute, just I think like to grab a drink or something. And I happen to glance at my phone and I just see it's like, hey, Trump. It started like right at the beginning in the Discord where somebody posted like Trump grabbed loud popping noise at rally. Trump grabs his ear, appears to be bleeding. And my initial thought was, ain't no fucking way he actually got shot at. Because I think I'm just going hashtag old man skin. Because for those of you who don't know, but like when you're an old man and you just get up in years, you like bump a corner and you just start spurting like you're a WWE heavyweight champ. So I was thinking like, ain't no fucking way. Like he just like, it was like, wait, you mean 6 grown men tackled him and he's bleeding? No wonder. Yeah. But I'm still, and I'm going to go ahead, cock and balls firmly on the table. I'm going to be the crazy one here who's just going to be like, this was staged. How'd they catch the shooter so fast? Well, they told him where to be. All that. So I'm going to be the nut this week.
Hang on.
Why are we all here?
We will get to that, but let's get the panel rounded off first. Sylv, where were you when you heard the news that the former president had been, given an uh-oh in the ear?
Where the fuck was I? One moment. Oh, okay. I was asleep, so woke up to the news, and then I was like, well, that's the day.
We're just gonna call this a half day.
I should have stayed asleep.
I thought we were gonna get like the George W.H. Bush, like, I don't remember where I was when JFK got his head blown off moment. So it was just gonna be like, I don't know. I remember a building.
I thought you were making another 9/11 joke.
Oh, I don't know if George W.H. Bush remembered where he was when 9/11 happened, because I don't know how well his brain was holding up by that point.
Okay.
Bush. Okay.
Yeah, Daddy Bush. Regular Bush probably doesn't remember where he was either, but that's because he's too busy focusing on his art now.
His art is really good.
Oh, yeah, that clown is Saddam Hussein getting hung. That's beautiful. That's like artistic or something.
He's making a statement.
I just need to see like it's George Bush holding the paintbrush to the canvas, but it's just that diagram of the hole that they found Saddam Hussein in. Where he's got,
I thought you were going to say it's like the diagram of like where the shooter was.
Oh, the one I made?
Exactly. Wait, someone edit that. That'll be the cover for this.
Yeah, we've got our title card now.
Yeah, okay.
Andrea has done peerless research into this for us, and we have all been stuck in the what's in the news thread channel in the freaking Discord because of it. Just every moment we're just waiting for Andrea to pop up and show us a new layer of absolute insanity as to how this happened. So I'm sure everyone has seen the major things, and I'm sure you've been giving all sorts of information. I'm sure your crazy uncle has informed you that it was an Antifa member, and then, somebody on the internet told you that it was, a disgruntled mail worker named Sam Hyde. But we're going to give you, as far as we know, the actual version of events. Andrea, is there anywhere you would like to start with this in particular?
Well, I mean, the easiest thing to start with is to just point out he's definitely been planning this for at least a little while, because he made an explosive device and had apparently other explosive devices at his house. The rifle that he used was stolen from his father. It was bought over many years ago. I think it was like
11 years or something.
Yeah. He bought the ladder that was used to scale the building. and brought it with him. I'm not sure if he bought it the same day or not, but he did buy 50 rounds of ammunition for the rifle that he stole from his dad that same day. So, same day ammunition sales kind of something to think about. Ammunition machine would have been a little bit. Anyways, ammunition vending machine.
I just want to hear the Home Depot music start when it's like, he bought that ladder at the Home Depot. Yeah.
They're going to go after the Home Depot. So that he bought
Ban
the
ladder
50 rounds,
skills.
and then he drove an hour to the event. So he lived an hour away, and he drove an hour there. He parked. I don't know where for sure, but I think he parked on the east side of the building that he was on when he took the shots, because that's where the ladder is. He put the ladder basically in a dead area between sort of two buildings that had a walkway built between them that was totally enclosed. And he put the ladder up on the walkway that was behind a tree, so it was kind of obscured. Now, this gets where it gets really weird, because the facility that he was able to access and able to climb up on was being used as a Butler PD staging area for this event, supposedly. I have no
Butler
idea what
PD
that means.
being the local law enforcement.
Correct.
Right.
So they were supposedly using that AGR complex as a staging area. And there was a sniper team inside of the facility, not in the same building that he was on, but in an adjacent 2-story building that actually overlooks the building he climbed up on. And he managed to climb up and crawl into position. And for about 30 minutes, apparently, local police were aware and people on the ground were yelling and pointing. However, because the building was a police building, the police were kind of slow to respond with sort of authoritative force, because they kind of thought, okay, these people are just seeing one of our guys. I don't need to worry about this that much. You know what I mean? Because they didn't expect it to be an enemy person climbing on that building. They just really did not expect it in any way, shape, or form. So he crawled into position, moved around in that building. Apparently, Butler PD were given a boost when they were giving one of their officers boosties to get up onto the roof when he started shooting. And one of their officers was like hanging off of the roof by his fucking hands, because the shots caused the officer to like run off, the officer underneath him to like react. So he was just hanging.
Okay.
He was getting boosties. It was hanging off the roof like a cartoon. So that Butler PD did that. And then he was killed by Secret Service return fire.
Almost
after he fired
immediately.
8 rounds. He fired 8 rounds, and
he shot
then
8
it was
times.
not immediately.
No, there's you can, in fact, I think you can hear in the video of it the point where they say that they've neutralized the target, and it's like well after. Yeah, because if you've seen the video, you hear the shots. I think it's not until about like the 3rd pop that you see Trump like go for his ear and go down, right? About that.
Yep.
And he's on the ground for what? Like maybe like a minute, maybe a little bit longer or so.
Yeah, the Secret Service tackled him.
Yeah, he doesn't get off the ground until they've confirmed that they've neutralized the target, right?
Correct.
That means that they went and checked that he was dead and that he was not moving and all this sort of stuff.
Or they got a helicopter finally to look at that building or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they knew for sure.
But that means
They got
that,
some kind of confirmation that old buddy was down and he was not shooting anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
But even so, that means it was far from immediate. They had plenty of time there for.
Well, I guess the question is, how fast is like a reasonable amount of time? Like, I'm hearing a lot, like even the response of like, oh, by the time that they were tackling him to the ground, it was already like slow as hell. So like, was this whole thing just supposed to be, I guess that's my question. Was this a reasonable amount of time? I don't have anything I can compare it to where it's like, oh, well, they got 5 seconds here or they got 4 seconds here.
I think you could kind of look at recent events. The Shinzo Abe assassination is an example of a failure to react, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's my point. It's just like those guys reacted almost instantly, and they were not able to prevent him from being killed. And so I don't think their reaction is unreasonably slow, but I still think, they clearly just got tremendously lucky. As we were talking about before the show, he was saved by his like ADD need to like look at content, because he says that there was a graph that was put on the screen behind him and he turned his head right before the bullet would have gone through.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what he
now,
says.
Do we have confirmation? Now, here's the thing that I'm already wondering, because I think you broke it down in the discussion where it's like they're showing this footage of like, oh, and you can see the bullet. And I'm not an expert. I'm not going to pretend that I am, but it also seems exceptionally slow for a bullet to be caught on camera like that.
So I did the math. That photograph was taken with a 1/8000 shutter speeds, like very, very modern Sony A something series. It's a very high-end camera that's capable of incredible shutter speeds. And apparently I did some ballpark math, and yeah, that's about the right size for 1/8000 if it was a 5.56 round at that range. So yeah, it'd be about it's like 3 feet long, and that's about what it's hard to tell, but like that's kind of roughly what that streak is behind him.
Right, and
Okay.
and keep in mind too that like
So that was definitely the bullet. I mean, that's the thing.
Well, yeah,
like people claiming that it was glass, people claiming that it was the
teleprompter breaking.
teleprompters were not damaged in any way. There was no glass from the teleprompters. There was nothing hit. And so like that was a bullet that pierced his ear, and that's a bullet in the photo. Yeah, those things are both at least real as far as I can tell.
Right. And as far as the likelihood of catching that, I mean, come on, it's a rally. There's fucking millions of cameras. Like somebody was going to catch that if there was a fucking bullet there. I'm not surprised by that.
Especially somebody was he was probably sitting there shooting like a sports photographer just at 30 frames a second or something.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just because it came out today, did you guys see the RFK video with him talking on the phone where he described the experience as it was like a mosquito? It was like the world's largest mosquito, and it was a bullet.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he has a very poor frame of reference, but it just that doesn't. The only thing I can imagine is the only thing RFK should have said to that was, Donnie, that wasn't a bug. That's how they get the worm in your brain.
Jesus.
I just don't, because I don't want to be the one on the track. I know I said I'm gonna say crazy shit, but it's like if you're saying that checks out as like that was probably a bullet and that sort of thing, like, and it wasn't him being hit by the ricochet, then all right, I will try to go along with that. But also, like, that is the most miraculous fucking shot in, like, that's it's exceptionally harder to pull that off than it would to just have hit him. You know what I mean? And then the idea of him describing it's like, oh well, it sounded like a big old hornet going by, and I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? Are you like, maybe his hearing is shot too? Maybe all he heard was,
well, it's definitely shot now. But
I don't know, because it's another one of those things that looking at the photos, it's like miraculous because his ear is more from, at least from the shots immediately afterward, he's bleeding, but his ear is in one piece. It's not like he's got a chunk of it out. He's not dangling from his face or anything like that.
He doesn't look like Mr. Potato Head got his ear pulled off.
Yeah, it's one of those things. That's why I was joking in the beginning. It's like hashtag old man skin, where it's like it's like that could have been fucking anything. And if people are saying it's a bullet and it wasn't ricochet and it wasn't him pulling out a razor to make it look good for the cameras, like that's fine. Like I will try to go alongside you guys with this complete farce and lie that you're trying to tell me. That's okay. I'll be in fantasy land with the rest of you that this was a bullet, but like his ear looks suspiciously intact for someone who got hit by a goddamn bullet. Okay, quick question. Was he also wearing a tinfoil hat? Because I think mine protects against
one of MIA's.
Mine
one of
protects
MIA's
against
tinfoil hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I get a MAGA tinfoil hat? That'd be dope.
Boy,
There goes Todd.
Can I throw out some more of the crazier things real quick?
Of course.
Okay, unsubstantiated rumor time. All right. There was one that I heard. There was one that I heard that was that Crooks was actually confronted by law enforcement during the process of attempting to get in position, and his response was basically like, "I got a gun, bro. You better back the fuck up." And the officer supposedly said, "Oh, okay." It just left. Now I haven't looked if anything was confirmed. It's just that's the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a while.
Well, that's actually a place to go with this. As far as the playing the blame game, right? the general consensus we've managed to pull from Andrea's research and the news itself seems to be Secret Service failed by assuming that this area that the shooter was at was outside of the perimeter that they were set to guard and what's the word I'm looking for here? Survey.
No, that's a great word.
Yeah, and then local law enforcement failed because they were supposed to be, again, this was their staging area, whatever that means.
Yes,
but it was
this was a secure staging point for
this was a point
law
where
enforcement operator.
This is a thing where they're doing stuff at, and then the fucker got on the roof and started shooting from there.
And you could really understand the Secret Service's hesitation to just start opening fire at somebody on a building that's supposed to be a safe, cleared building. Like
right.
I that's the thing where like it's hard to blame those guys for what happened, but the overall failure was definitely the Secret Service.
Okay, now here's the thing: it's only a failure if you think that their goal was to protect him and not. Now I'm sure that nobody wanted Trump to get shot, but I'm sure that.
Are you sure about that?
I don't think any.
Happen?
I think all they wanted was just some pops, scared shit. The fact that he got hit by a miracle shot only makes it look more convincing. You're like, oh man, he's bleeding everywhere. God, and then somebody's just eating their popcorn going, oh my God, this is my greatest work yet.
See, that's interesting that
now they get to point. Now they get to point to the big, like, oh man, God saved Trump. This was miraculous. Oh boy. And then meanwhile, like, what was it? How many people got injured? I know one of them died already, right?
One
is that
dead,
number
two
one
injured?
dead. I think it's more than that, but he got off either way. He got off 8 shots.
The guy who died
was not. So God was not interested in protecting anyone but Trump. It was like the rest of you guys go, fuck off.
Sorry, God's a fan of The Apprentice.
Yeah, I guess so.
The guy that died was apparently shitposting about children in Gaza can just get over it like the Japanese. Apparently not long before he got his dome
what a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I mean, husband and father, I'm told.
And firefighter as well.
Firefighter, yeah.
Anybody who says ACAB doesn't include firefighters.
Firefighters are supposed to be the good ones, damn it. Fuck.
Look, I'm just making the point that it's if you are going for everybody who would try to shut up and say, like, oh yeah, this was totally staged, but they got, but they injured multiple people and killed somebody, and it's like they don't care about those people. They don't give a damn.
No, they don't give a fuck.
That's always
about
the thing that gets me about when people talk about like anything crazy, like, oh, this tragedy was staged. And they're like, these people are actors. Like, they don't need actors. They like government is more than willing to kill people just to make it look good. And I am acknowledging full well that what I am saying intentionally crazy stuff, and I don't put stock in anything I'm going at right now, but these are the things that other people are going to say. So let's bring it up.
Well, the other things people are going to say is that this was a plot by the Democrats, right?
That Biden signed off on this.
They couldn't get him on the legal cases. They couldn't get him in the Supreme Court. So now they're just going to shoot him. And what was the fucking? Did any of you see the quote that like the day before Biden had said something to the effect of like, we need to put a bullseye on Donald Trump, and like fucking Republican Twitter fucking nonsense went animal, going like, see, he said that they're gonna kill Trump. Did anyone else see this besides me? Because I saw
that
15 people share that shit saying, see, this is him saying they're gonna kill Trump. God,
and he go on TV and say that he made a mistake to say that.
I mean, it's just one of those that even in the midst of this sea of misinformation, that's what this is. This is battling against, on one side you have Andrea, who is providing concise, more or less backed up facts, and then on the other end you have old co-host who's basically sure that the only reason that they didn't get him with the Havana beam is because he too got the MIA tinfoil hat that he is hiding under the wig.
Oh my God.
So they had to use lead. But I guess it's always that thing of like, if the government, and I don't want to play this game where I think that like the government is just this shadowy, omnipotent force. Like, oh, if they want somebody dead, they want somebody dead. I mean, how many times did we try to kill Castro and it was like Looney Tunes?
Yeah, right. Like the
But
fucking they poisoned
you-
cigar, but like the cigar got dropped, and he was like, "No, I'm not smoking the cigar." So they run back to get they grab the poisoned cigar and they get him another one. And he's like, "Oh no, I don't have a lighter." So they run all the way back and get him a lighter, and he's like, "Could you light it for me?" And they light it, and it's reversed, and then they blow up. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, Mr. Castro, sir, you have been gifted this giant baby grand piano that we are positioning on your rooftop. If you would just stand right here in the staging area with the big bullseye. But it's that thing of like, if Joe, it was like there was already the talk, like there was one of the quick rumors that rattled off where it's like, yeah, it's China did it. And it's like, man, if the Chinese wanted him dead, it would be over. We would just be hearing the tragedy, you know. I'd honestly, for the most part, I'd want to say the same thing, that if there was any sort of deep state conspiracy, that you wouldn't miss. You wouldn't end up shooting 8 shots and only one of them went anywhere near the desired target.
Well, that's sort of the line that I'm getting at. Listen to the radical incompetence of all the organizations involved in this, right? Just look at that and then tell me that a deep state cover-up kind of assassination is even a possibility. If these people that is the only the rational kernel of like the Republican people that are freaking out about this being a conspiracy, because they're like, they can't be this incompetent. And that makes sense, because if you have a worldview where there's a deep state that is actively against like the one political candidate that you believe is gonna fix everything, you can't actually believe that they would be so fucking incompetent that they would allow this to happen just because they're idiots. It has to be that they wanted him to actually get shot, right?
But then it's the argument of like, well, who benefits the most from a failed Trump assassination?
JD Vance,
Trump.
apparently.
Yeah. Actually, JD Vance is just really mad because he got his dates wrong. He thought it was getting announced the day before.
And he had to pay the guy.
He jumped
like,
way too soon.
$15,000 I'm not getting back.
You think that's it? You think that's all you'd have to pay somebody? You're lowballing, bro. What kind of dollar store fucking assassins are you buying?
That's the argument.
Well, the kind that get 8 shots off and then get killed.
Oh boy. I'd say I feel like we've done a lot of talking. Do we want to hear a little bit more from our panel about like it doesn't have to be anything specific. It doesn't have to be like me where I'm intentionally saying psycho stuff. Do you guys have any, Sylv and Local primarily, I guess, do you guys have any thoughts that like you really want to share about this, or just any real feelings about it?
I'm enjoying being a laugh track here.
That's fine. What about you, Local? Oh God, they whisked him away.
They got to him.
But y'all Fed
Oh,
posted
God.
way too close to the sun here.
Oh man.
We did.
No, but I mean, here I'll pontificate. It's just, I think that a lot of times it's easy to go with conspiracies like this because when you look at the idea of like I said, who benefits the most from, say Trump didn't even know about it. Say this was just like a weird behind the scenes, his team, or maybe, you know, in worms in the Secret Service, whatever you'd want to say. We're like, well, if we create a botched assassination attempt, it will all but secure his base. It will make the other side look like insane radicals. So it will, if anybody who's like an undecided could very easily get swung over, and then it'll embolden anybody who was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna go to the polls this month. It does, or you know, this year or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. Neither candidate is that good. But then it's, oh my God, they tried to kill somebody on my ideological side. You know what, we've got to show that we're not going to be intimidated. We're going to take a stand. And like, really, that is what's going to, you know, conspiracy aside, that is what is about to happen.
There.
It is very easy to go, considering where we were at in that the Project 2025 stuff was really starting to come out of the woodwork. They just had that huge data breach where it's like, here's all these people that were actually supporting it and giving it money behind the scenes. And this is the Heritage Foundation guy made a comment about the new American Revolution that might remain bloodless. if the left will allow it. It's very easy to sort of connect those wires and start going, fuck, what if this was staged?
I mean, I don't even think it has to be staged for that to be the like. I mean, I kind of think that was his motivation.
I
kind of think that was this kid's lone wolf motivation. That's what I'm leaning towards.
He thought if I can make this look good enough,
kill him or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's gonna swing it. I'll just martyr myself.
Yeah, I am gonna almost like I'm dead regardless. The minute I pull this trigger, I'm done for. But I can embolden the right with this one lone wolf act of violence. That is something in the realm of possibility.
That was actually because someone in the Discord made a comment saying, "Is this what's the term? Stochastic or stochastic? Yes. Stochastic terrorism.
Stochastic terrorism.
Right." And I don't know if you guys remember my response or not, but it was something to the effect of, do we really need to qualify the idea of like and find the person like, oh yeah, this was all fomented by political rhetoric in a time where people are more hopeless, more alienated, and more willing to just do anything to escape the agony of their own existence? This could have essentially have been an exaggerated suicide. You know what I mean? This could have been like, you know what? I don't even care how far I get because I'll be dead by the end of it. There's no way I'm going to live.
And then it also...
So maybe I can just cause some fucking havoc. Or like you guys said, maybe it's like, if you know what? If I get him in the head, they'll find a new candidate. If I don't kill him, they'll be like, look, he tried to kill him. Either way, we're going to come out looking good.
I'm still very... Now, there is the thing where I don't know if anyone can confirm this. I'm just substantiated rumor man this week. But also there's the thing where Mr. Crooks got asked to not take part in a marksman's club at a school because he was considered a dangerously bad. Yeah, I was gonna say he's considered a dangerously bad shot. So is the idea that he was just such a piss poor shot that he couldn't get anywhere fucking close to the person he was aiming at?
He got the ear.
Now, I mean, that's the thing. Is the thing now, that makes it even weirder, right?
Well, this is the thing, right?
So proper optics.
He had no optics. That was iron sights, which is surprising to me, considering how cheap optics for 5.56 are.
Yeah, right. What the fuck?
Yeah, but he stole the gun.
So this is the thing that's confusing to me because, like, I mean, that's the same. It kind of maps with the Demo Ranch T-shirt because he's fits the pattern of somebody who's like into guns but isn't very good with them, and that kind of matches a lot of different aspects that we saw. I mean, him having to steal the gun and then the poor marksmanship in his rifle club. All of those things kind of point to that same thing, and that's kind of a type of person that does exist.
Yeah, do we want to like just talk about the suspect or the gunman at this point? Because I mean, he's damn sure not suspect. We know it was fucking him, but
that's what they want you to think. I mean, who else was on the grass? Who else was on the grassy knoll? You mean to tell me that the guy who did it is the dude who walked in with the ladder and basically looked at law enforcement and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be up here. Y'all leave me. Y'all fuck off real quick. I'm trying to line up my shot."
You're right. It was John Dillinger, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh boy, for everyone who's read Illuminatus. Yeah, it was Mr. Dillinger. Gonna give you a one for the ages. He could probably pull off an earshot.
Probably.
Hey, before we go into Matthew Thomas Crook, I don't know if you guys can hear her, but my dog will not shut the hell up.
That is a hound dogging.
My sweet, sweet hound dogging.
You want to take her out real quick?
You are the most well-known recurring guest on this show.
Love him.
All right, that's fine. That'll let me stop the recording for a minute and download it and stuff, and we can do that. All right.
We'll just upload it raw. But no, he has an ear.
I posted. I said, "Why did he post whole?" I want to see him post whole.
No, shut the fuck up. Well, you're a queen, but I need you to shut up.
No, I agree with co-host. I agree with co-host because he is a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. He was wearing a cap. Razors can easily be hidden under them. I think he staged it himself. I think he was like, there's only one way I can beat a cute grandpa, and that's to be a wounded grandpa.
And the CIA has Manchurian candidates. They can just, they just roll him out one to use for that.
Okay.
Just a sacrificial Manchurian candidate sort of
No,
situation.
no, he's trained by the WWE. That's part of the mythology I have in my head.
Crooks? What?
Just saying the name Crooks is like we knew the guy.
Something that I've heard pointed out is that they're going with the like the full name, like the first name, middle name, last name, like they do with every presidential assassin. Like,
I mean, lots of serial killers get that treatment too. It's a very common news media trope. I mean, like,
well, what are you gonna do? Call him Tom? Come on, Tommy
exactly.
boy. Good old Tommy the Shooter, they call him.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn.
I guess if his name were like Adolf Edward Hitler, we would get a lot more people named Adolf today.
You know what I'm curious about,
the same
though?
ring as Barack Hussein Obama, right? Let's go.
Right.
If only his name was like Shooty McPresident Killer, right? Oh God. What I'm curious about though, right, is do you think that this is going to affect the amount of people named Thomas over the next couple of years?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Thomas is Thomas.
Well, that's there's a definite drop in the amount of people named Lee after Lee Harvey Oswald is all I'm saying.
Wait, really?
Yeah, look it up. It's 100%. It's a real fact I just made up.
Oh gosh, and here I came for the news.
All right, so do we want to talk about the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, a little bit here? What do we actually know about them?
He has 3 names.
He's got 3 names.
Just like they all do.
He's not a great shot.
He is a poor shot, or possibly the greatest shot ever. He's got
You're right.
He's got the
trained by the WWE.
He's got those wanted powers where he can slow down time
Curve
and curve
the
the bullet,
to hit him
make
in
it
the ear.
to graze your ear in a way that leaves the ear largely intact.
You can't do that. I just rewatched that fucking movie.
Oh God, the
unfair.
CMN synchronicities are always the worst.
Okay,
That's
so
what makes it so good.
now we do know that his father was a hardline Republican that they showed up in a database of trying to map out voter statistics and that sort of thing.
That wasn't just a database to map out voter statistics. That was a database to identify gun owners, hunters, and Republicans and the intersection of the three to target in swing states in 2016.
There you
And
go. Okay.
he scored 0.99 in the database on gun owner and 0.95 on the hunter out of a scale of 0 to 1.
So Papa Crooks loves his Republican Party, loves his guns, loves hunting.
Loves venison.
Yeah. So his
Loves
son,
his son? Maybe.
maybe. We do know that Mr. Crooks was a registered Republican voter, but we also know that what was it? He gave $15 in a hand job to the Mr. Biden fund right after he got elected.
No, and so this is the thing that kind of gets me about this is when you look more, everybody says, "Oh, it's a Democratic PAC." When you look more into it, it's one of these scammy PACs that you can't actually, when they send advertising out and shit, you can't really tell who the fuck it is and who you're doing. And my guess is that he either got by algorithmic advertising or it was a bet or something like that. It's what it seems like to me.
He just
maybe
threw
that's
money.
me
He just
getting
threw
out,
some
going
money
out on the conspiracy thing. Yeah.
Either way, he does it before he's actually registered to vote, right? He does it when he's
Yes.
17. And then he doesn't actually get to register to vote until 6 months later when he turns 18.
And then still registers a Republican.
And he's only ever voted in the 2022 midterm elections. That was the only thing he'd ever
Correct.
Well, he figured out a better way in his mind. I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying, listen, FBI that is now listening to this. I do not condone anything that went on. I'm just saying that for him, he probably became quickly disillusioned and radicalized, as often happens with people. He was 20, right? I mean, there are people who completely lose their head. Like, you start understanding the basics of politics when you're like 14 or something like that. And then by the time you're 20, you just think like the whole thing's rotten. And then you come down maybe about 25 where you're like, well, even if I thought that was the best maneuver, I can't just burn everything down. That's going to get a lot of people hurt. And then by the time you're 30, you're ready to just sell your soul for a bag of chips.
You're like, please, I'll vote for Bernie. Just give me health care.
Yeah, let me have a smidgen, a smackerel of a health care.
Yeah.
Let me get a smackerel of the Social Security, sir, please.
Yeah. Other information we know about him was literally the stereotype response you get from people when they do crazy shit like this. It was like, he was real quiet.
He was so
kind
quiet,
of a loner.
yeah.
He
did
was
his
quiet
job.
and a loner.
The lack of a manifesto was interesting to me.
Right.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
Strange.
There's been no written.
They didn't have time
thing.
to write one for him.
Wasn't there some shit about how they couldn't get into his cell phone?
No. They got
they
into
did
it.
get into his cell phone.
They just
They
wrote
just
it.
did.
and
Bro,
they said
you're not
that
going to
was
believe
not
it. You're
helpful.
not. No. The big thing is they actually found his Spotify.
Oh no!
It's a wrap.
Oh my God, we'd
We're going
have
to
so
jail.
much fucking. I don't care because I'll make $40 gajillion off of. Well, correction,
Wait.
40 gajillion pennies off of all the plays that I get on Spotify.
Just end it here.
Wait.
End it here. Just stop recording and do a bit. Right now.
Wait. Masto Crew is an anagram of Thomas Matt Crooks. He was on the Patreon.
Oh Jesus.
So other things, other interviews with other people that went to school with him and remember him, have varied in their depictions of him. Some people say he's extremely conservative. Other people say he was kind of conservative. Everybody seems to say he leaned conservative. Somebody who was in his I think it was history or American, it was probably American history, thinking about high school classes. They had a bunch of debates in the class where people would stand on the left or the right of the room after people would talk about the issues to kind of weigh where the class was. And he was always the only kid sitting on the right side of the room, apparently.
Damn.
So I don't know what to make of that, but it's kind of grim.
You've got memories.
He was just hanging out of the Overton window.
I think so, yeah.
That's where he was firing from, actually.
Oh boy.
Well, related to this, apparently him being bullied when he was in school. Have y'all seen the news stuff about that? The interviews, the three dudes that talked about it. It was fucking hilarious because they talked about him being bullied, but in a way where that they were the ones doing it.
Oh fuck! I did not see that, Phil.
Those guys are thinking, "Oh man, we dodged a bullet." Literally.
Thank God he waited until after he graduated.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
President Trump.
Oh God!
Hey, how many bullets did Biden take for you? That's the real question. All right, Americans, think about where you were 4 days ago and who was out there, deflecting bullets with their ear for you.
Remember,
not Joe Biden.
I unironically saw somebody share a thing that said, "Who are you going to vote for? The guy who lost his brain or the guy who lost his ear?"
He didn't lose his ear. His ear is still there. His ear is in good enough shape that I question if anything actually hit it. That's the thing that drives me nuts about this. If he had a serious if he had a serious war wound, my entire idea, hate to say that I am that caveman brained that it's ear don't look bad enough. Like he needs to take, here's the other thing. I think if it looked that bad, he'd be showing everybody, right? He'd be taking up close
like,
photos and
patch
putting them on
it.
Twitter.
He'd be like putting his finger through the hole and shit.
Yeah, exactly. He'd say, come feel a wound between my ear.
Yeah, 12 hours after when he was golfing, like he had like what looks like a Band-Aid on the motherfucker, and then it upgraded to a fucking patch when he was actually out in the media spot.
Yeah. Well, and he knows how to play a crowd. He just knows how to play a crowd. Now, I'm actually really happy. I shouldn't say I'm really happy with anything that involves this, should I? I'm just gonna. This is all just being on a list, right? This is all getting you put on a list. But no, it's actually really, in my mind at least, it's really nice that we are getting some very hardline things of saying, yeah, conservative, because that way, whenever they try to spin this was the radical left saying like, oh, well, you said that Donald Trump was a monster and Hitler and all this stuff, and it's like, well, right off the bat, we were pointing, you were able to point at a bunch of stuff saying this guy was if he wasn't a Trumper, he was something further to the right. He was something more radicalized than a MAGA. And
how fucked up is it going to be when we finally figure out what this guy's on about and he's just like a paleocon and he's just like he had like William Buckley fucking like wallpaper and shit like that.
He got a John McCain tattoo and he's like, he's like, you talk about my guy.
It might be something weird like that.
My bets are still on the Epstein stuff.
Could be.
I really wonder about that too, Sylv.
Wait, what?
They're thinking that maybe that like Donald Trump didn't break all of the kids out of the Pizzagate prison tunnels, and it's because he's in on it. So they're like, I gotta stop him.
That's what it is. They did the face-off thing, right? So like Joe Biden is in Donald Trump's skin, and Trump is in Joe Biden's face skin, but like Joe Biden's face is starting to reject the Trump body, and that's why his brain's declining. So he was trying to shoot his ear off because that's where the face is held on, and he was going to go get Trump his face back to save him. That was it.
But they were also flirting on the phone.
They're flirting on the phone, and they're also secret gender inverts.
For me, right, I think that I think one of the really dicey things here as far as like, because I've been saying out of pocket stuff like this was staged and they knew where to shoot because they told them they bought him the ladder and said go up this building, you'll be fine, that sort of thing. But I really do wonder at what point, because there's always the cliche of like the FBI finding somebody to radicalize and telling them to buy guns and doing all kinds of crazy shit, and then being like, oh fuck, we went too far, he actually did something. Or he did something
we're supposed
sooner.
to arrest you when you go to the gun store.
Yeah, we dropped the now guys, who was the old geezer that was like he's the old man in a ghillie suit that basically like put out a tweet?
Joe Biden.
Biden can't even pronounce ghillie suit.
No, but I know I know the guy you're talking about, where he the police showed up at his house and he shot at them and shit.
Yeah, immediately. That's what always gets me about and that's another thing that again, I'm not standing by any of the crazy nonsense I've said. I think ideally you should listen to Andrea because she's got the closest thing resembling facts to this situation. And if you want to go off the deep end on your own, don't say Cohost told you to do it. All right? Cohost is telling you, don't, do as I say, not as I do.
You hear that, FBI?
Yeah, Mr. FBI, sir, do not, you can put me on the list, I guess. I'm imagining I'm probably already on there, but I don't, wink, wink. But at the same time, it is insane to me the disproportionate responses that happen sometimes where it's like somebody gets shot because they basically put out a Facebook post saying, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum and I'm all out of bubblegum. And then meanwhile, this guy made it up he waltzed past police. He did the ultimate guy carrying a ladder trick and made it past law enforcement to shoot at a politician.
That was the point I was going to make earlier. It's like, this was really one of those ultimate moments of like, act like you're supposed to be there, but not even. Just be in an area where people think you might see some weird shit, right?
Okay, I genuinely think that with the ladder.
Quick
just
question,
walking
guys.
with purpose with the ladder, just...
Hold on, sorry, just real quick. Are you guys into the occult at all? This is a Magic podcast, right? But I can actually relate to this to one thing
before we started recording. But
shit, this is something that has always stuck out in my head for a long, long time, and I can't remember exactly where it's from. I want to say it's in book 4. I haven't gone back and found it. I'm pretty sure I have gone to look for it, and it wasn't there. But the point being that Crowley talked about the way to become invisible is a misunderstood thing, where it's basically if you walk with purpose like you're supposed to be somewhere, you can walk right past the guards. And then when the guards are questioned later saying, how the hell did this guy get past you? They will basically block you out. They will come to the assumption that, well, we couldn't, if we had seen anyone walk by, we would have stopped them. But instead, you waltz past the guards, acted like you were supposed to be there, and you went up the ladder, and now nobody remembers seeing you. Nobody can factor in. They can't fathom the idea that somebody waltzed past them with a ladder and a rifle, and they didn't stop them. So instead, it's just we didn't see you. There's no way we could have seen you.
Ahem. This power, by the way, is what has been described by magicians as the power of invisibility. Somebody or other has an excellent story of 4 quite reliable men who were on a lookout for a murderer and had instructions to let no one pass, and who all swore subsequently in the presence of the dead body that no one had passed. None of them had seen the postman.
Where is it from?
It's from book 4. You were completely right.
Oh, thank God. I'm not that completely off my rocker. But yeah, that to me, if I was going to point at something realistically saying, how did they drop the ball that hard? That's what happened.
Well,
Man with a ladder.
Yeah, it's even a little more complicated than that, right? Because there were people that did believe their eyes, and then the people responsible for checking that out were like, oh, these are just idiots seeing us walking on the roof of this building, clearly.
I guarantee you that's exactly what happened.
But hey, there's a guy with a gun up there. Yeah, there's lots of guys with guns up there, sweetheart. They're called the police.
Just enjoy the show, honey. It's fine. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
about it.
That's really, yeah, I feel like that is I can't add much more than that. What do you guys, does anybody feel like we missed anything? Are there any topics we want to get into about, we could talk about what we were predicting as far as the lasting impact. We got on the subject of that during the break.
To with it. It's like, what's going to be the results that come from this act?
I got to ask, since it's an occult podcast, did anyone, I don't have the skills to do this, but did anyone look astrologically or at any sort of other divinatory methods like that to see if anything stood out?
I saw a couple things where people that are much more well versed in this than me, basically somebody pulled out something like what Donald Trump's chart was at the time and said like, according to this chart, he should have died. So like something really out of pocket happened. And then somebody else pulled up the Matthew Crooks thing and said, after looking at this man's chart, I no longer believe that it was staged, which I love that. That's battling one form of bullshit with another. Conspiratorial thinking with astrological charts. I don't buy into astrology enough at the moment. Like, sometimes I get really hard up on it, but I couldn't be bothered to bring up a chart for it. I guarantee you, if you go and find like, what's his name? Austin Coptic or something like that. I'm sure he's got like 500 million videos up on it already.
You know what? Just because I'm interested in it, I will put right here my findings on it. Hey, everyone. There's a lot going on in this chart at the exact time of the shooting. Just trines and sextiles and squares all over. A lot of Mars, a lot of Sun. I can't break it down in any meaningful way within the scope of this because I'll be here another fucking 2 days trying to get this out. But if you know anything about astrology, go look at it and have a good head scratch like I am.
It's fake. Sorry. The Glock 9 was in Capricorn.
I was gone for a little bit. Are we beating the shooter's sun sign or something?
We were discussing. Andrea asked about any astrological aspects or things or attributions. Yeah, there we go.
to the
That we're going on.
circumstances
I mean, we have his
or to either of
birth
them.
date from the voter record. Well, you can assume like that he probably registered on the day on his birthday, but
Yeah, like, at the very least, well, hang on. Actually, I think we have it. I think we do have it.
Astro girlies get to work.
Yep. Registered on his birthday.
Who the fuck is registering to vote on their birthday?
18-year-olds who are also doing other weird ID stuff at that point.
Losers, you mean? Like just nerds that don't have like funner things to do?
That too.
Oh man, what I'm hearing is that this kid got bullied. Like that's all I needed to know.
Huh.
I'm a monster, huh?
Well, we created you, so.
Yeah.
We did.
As far as affecting the election, do we have major opinions?
I dare not.
I mean, I thought Trump was going to win anyway, so
Right,
I
that's
think-
kind of where I'm at.
I think
Like-
during the break, somebody made some good points about how it's very easy to point at this and go like, "Oh man, this is just like what happened with Ronald Reagan," but it's not really.
Well, the
Like, it
person that
doesn't-
made that point is right here. You want to let them make it?
I was kind of trying to lob the ball to them and let them.
I mean, it's not like Reagan nearly died. That was sort of my main point. Reagan nearly died. He was in the hospital for months. It wasn't clear if he was ever going to even be functional again for a very long time, and people were mourning him before he even died. I think Self pointed that out, or somebody
Yeah,
pointed
that is
out.
actually, that is a point. They're like, when he comes
Um,
back, he's like Jesus. They're like, holy shit, we thought you were gone.
That's a very different vibe than my ear is bleeding.
The pictures don't help, but that's true.
No, the pictures certainly don't help.
but now Trump can one up Reagan. He can be like, yeah, he was actually shot. God took me out of the way just in time. So I'm actually better than Reagan. By the way,
You're not wrong.
I hate the same people you do and will punish them.
Let me tell you, think of President
The new-
John JFK.
The
he
new Donald
he died.
Trump
He died.
slogan.
Teddy Roosevelt, he got hit in the chest. Gave a speech. Very, very wonderful speech. Not as good as some of mine, but it's a good speech. And Reagan was in the hospital for months. He thought he was a vegetable, and he came out, and he might have been.
Might have been.
I got a new paint job.
I'm sorry, I have taken aback by might have been.
How many lists are we going to be on by the end of this?
Don't
I'm
worry
trying to
about
bring
it.
it back to
Cut
the
this.
occult, and you asked me about Reagan. So,
Oh God.
who's the occult podcaster?
Oh man. That's the problem, right? Because Reagan had the astrologer and the fortune teller and all that kind of stuff. He would have seen that
And he's
bullet
still
coming.
not fucking capped.
At any rate, yeah, I'm with local on this one. I think Biden's already dead in the water, and unless the Democratic Party replaces him with literally like anybody
You're
at
not
this
go-
point,
you can't
it's not going to fucking
You cannot
matter.
replace somebody less than 4 months out from the main event.
Yeah, it is way too late in the game.
The thing,
You guys-
the thing about that is the best idea they
No.
have is Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. So I don't want them to do that.
If they do Hillary Clinton, they might as well just
I think you've forgotten about Gavin Newsom.
who?
Well,
Kamala might
I
have
think the
something.
Democrats might have also forgot about Gavin Newsom.
Well, here's
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
I know it's the same argument that the Young Turks have made, but I will make it again. It's like I don't see any downside to it because he's going to lose anyway. Like just accepting that he's going to lose is enough of a reason to be like, all right, well, fuck it, let's go for it, because it will be the biggest. It's not like you have a name recognition problem, right? It's like you don't have to pick Kamala or Hillary because people know who they are. Whoever you replace Joe Biden with will be the biggest name in politics almost immediately. Like people will know who this motherfucker is.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, like already because Trump has now announced his VP, everybody is combing through this guy and they're already going like, fuck, this guy
Yeah,
is
everyone knew who
actually a
J.D. Vance-
liability.
No, everyone knew who J.D. Vance was already. You didn't read
I mean, Trump
Hillbilly
is a
Elegy?
historically bad.
Wait. The guy that wrote Hillbilly Elegy, that's J.D. Vance?
Yeah, that's him.
Damn. All right, y'all. Changing teams now.
Sorry, I'm a sucker for Oprah's book club of the month.
Listen, bringing this back to the fucking shooter shit. Literally, the chaos of all this is too messy to be organized. Nothing that's happened has made any sense, and that's kind of a that's kind of amazing thing to me.
Yeah, I gotta give it that. Like, just when I thought that this election was going to be like the slow slog to the end of like very predictable results, we have
If this
bullets
had been
flying.
a Bernie bro somehow, like
Oh my
just
god.
like a fucking like a hardcore Bernie bro, I kind of agree that might have been the case. But the fact that he is going to probably end up being like Stephen Paddock, being a complete official enigma. I think that really changes it, especially with him being seen as conservative. I mean, I think it's kind of clear that this was something weird and not necessarily the nefarious plot that the extreme right-wing people are going to try and claim it is. And so I think that any predictions now about exactly how the election is going to turn out are like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, Biden could drop dead tomorrow. Trump could have a stroke tomorrow and drop dead, and that would be
Get an infected ear.
less surprising to me than a lot of other things. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. I mean, he could have a fucking weird clot infection shit from that ear and die from it because he's fucking
he
old.
gets an infection from wearing that ridiculous patch over his ear.
Yeah.
And it sweats too much.
The fuck knows?
I wrung it out in the toilet to get it clean, and I put it on.
Oh man, God.
The Secret Service could fuck up again.
Oh my god.
That's true. That's true.
Jumpy Secret Service hears a car backfire and then just like shoots him in the fucking gut.
I mean,
Ooh. It's
Well, no,
yeah,
the
like
Secret Service has had a history of like, we were caught being drunk on duty. So
Yeah.
like,
no, I mean, there's a whole lot of wild shit can happen between now and November, and so I think it's important to remember that.
to go with what Local was saying, it's important to remember that when government agencies get caught looking incompetent, they tend to overcompensate and do really awful things. Like when, ATF did Ruby Ridge, they overcompensated and gave us Waco. So like now the Secret Service is probably going to like decapitate somebody that was like, Mr. Trump, will you kiss my baby? And they're like, that baby is loaded.
And that baby is a bomb.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they're gonna kill a poor co-host and his occult podcast panel.
Two
for talking
Satan worshipers executed without trial for conducting black magic upon presidential hopeful.
God
Now that
bless
would-
America.
God bless America.
That would be I'm still waiting for that one because it's like every time that we end up thinking like somebody is like a horrifying monster Satanist and they did some crime, it's always just satanic panic. It's never anything like, oh man, they actually did it it was the devil for realsies.
Oh man.
If half the shit conservatives say was real, we'd be a lot cooler.
Oh yeah, like the world would be a lot fucking cooler. I'd be
Oh,
getting
man.
like acid handed to me and saying, "Here, it'll make you see things. It's very fun, children." But instead, I've never been offered free drugs ever. Ever.
Well,
Ever.
What are you trying to say?
are you trying to
Saying-
hint? I don't have anything.
I think he's trying to say that drug awareness resistance education is a lie.
Well,
Just hear
Say that again. I dare you.
McGruff, the crime hound, is in prison.
Oh fuck!
that sexy ass lion.
Okay, I said it during that little break, so I'm going to say it again here. I think that the one thing that you can say is that regardless of any of the conspiracy ends of it or like who benefits or what's really shaky about this, my guess for what will happen here is that there are going to be a lot of Republicans that maybe they weren't 100% on board with Trump, or maybe they were just a little disillusioned like the rest of us are, and they are going to tighten up and they are going to Pokemon go to the polls because their guy just got shot at. Somebody on their ideological end of the spectrum got shot, and now they feel targeted and victimized, and they're not going to pay attention to the fact that this guy was like a Second Amendment guy, and he had a Pepe hat and a Boogaloo shirt over his what was the YouTubers? Do you guys remember the YouTube channel that he was rapping?
Demo Ranch.
Demo Ranch
Okay.
is the
Yeah.
Oh, I have
YouTuber.
one passing thought on that when I'm done at the end of my rant. But they're not going to pay attention to the fact that he was a conservative. They're going to say that somehow, like, he met. They're going to be like, he met some blue-haired girl that radicalized him and made him Antifa.
He was a
But-
good conservative boy, and then he saw transgender porn one time, and then this happens.
He smoked one reefer cigarette, and now he is
Yeah.
hopelessly deranged. But so those people are going to tighten up, and then a lot of the Democrats are already incredibly disillusioned. And when I say Democrats, I really mean like people that are going to vote Democrat. I don't care if you're actually like you're an anarcho syndicalist and you've got however many views on your Twitch stream, and you said that.
Ouch. I'm right here.
God, look, your theme song's really cool though. That's all I'm gonna say. Talking somebody very specific in mind right now.
Yeah,
But
I
the
know.
point being
I
that
know.
the point being that like anybody who was inclined to vote Democrat, even if it was just because, man, I really don't want Trump being president again. That wasn't great. Those people are going to stay disillusioned, and they're not going. If anything, they might snap up a little bit because they're worried that the Republicans are going to
That was going to be my counterpoint. I feel
but-
like this might energize Dems to vote
Yeah.
again, not for any good reason. It's
think-
unfortunately
I
the
think a
same
lot of them
thing
are going to
that's
be like,
I think it's the same thing that motivated a shit ton of them. I think a lot of them are going to go vote for Biden now because they're fucking terrified, saying that fucker got shot and he lived. I can't deal with another Trump presidency. Like, I really think that. I'm sure plenty of people are terrified of it.
it's the problem of like, I don't particularly care for Trump. I don't like Biden at all either, though. That's my problem. He has done fuck and all and jack and squat in terms of the things I'd really, really care about.
Well, I mean, I think he's fucking evil, and
Yeah.
he's
He's
a goddamn
still-
demon like the rest of them. I mean,
Are you
it's just-
forgetting about Dark Brandon? He gave that to us.
Dark Brandon has been focused overseas.
Yeah, he gave us "Listen Here, Jack" and
That's the one thing.
malarkey.
I was
and-
actually really disappointed when Trump wasn't president anymore because I thought like, man, we're not going to have nearly as many good memes. And then Biden fucking delivered, man. Oh boy, did he deliver. So it doesn't matter. Whoever gets elected, there's going to be plenty of jokes and plenty of stares to hopefully fall down.
Always the fucking stairs.
Ugh, God.
You're right.
Anyone else got any closing statements, Andrea?
I mean, I question even an assassination attempt. I question the attention span in 2024.
Oh God,
And
that
I
is
just
a
question
real
how much
question.
that's going to have. I really genuinely question how much impact this is actually. I think this is probably going to have almost no impact on the election, personally.
Local.
I mean, I'm still leaning with co-host. I just like to point out that razors are easily hid under cats, and he is a professionally trained wrestler. He is a member of a certain wrestling organization's Hall of Fame. He could have done it to himself,
Hashtag old man skin.
right?
It's just not gonna happen. It's not.
Stop trying to make old man skin a thing.
I have already printed the t-shirts.
This is what your Patreon money goes to, folks. Stupid shirts that you're not gonna buy.
It's better spent than my taxes.
Sylv, do you have any closing thoughts on this?
No thoughts, head empty. Just these next few months are gonna be hell. But I love y'all, and I'm glad that we're at least gonna go through that hell together.
This is why Sylv is the happiest among all of us, because like, nope, I'm not thinking about this.
What do you mean go through it together? They're definitely going to put us in separate cells.
Well,
so.
true. Listen, from what we talked about before, literally the main thing with Biden is that online the Palestinian shit's kind of ramped up since the fucking shooting happened. I've seen like videos on Twitter just randomly sent to me about dead children in the streets. Like that's gonna kill the movement for Biden before anything else. And I'm
That
like,
was-
yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I also kind of, I don't know. And when I said no effect, what I really mean is I don't think you'll be able to discern the effect that it's had in November because it's going to be small compared to the other things that happen. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at too. It's like I definitely think that he's going to lose still, but it's like it's not going to be because he got assassinated. He was going to lose already. It's like the margin that he will lose by is going to be negligible in comparison. But all that said, yeah, it is interesting to think that, you know, Trump gets his ear shot and suddenly you haven't heard goddamn shit about Palestine. Not even like defending Israel, you know what I mean?
It's like I said about the Project 2025 shit. It's like this. It's very easy to point to something like this and saying this is awfully fucking convenient for a lot of people, but that could also just be the way that the 24-hour news cycle, and even if we didn't have 24-hour news, this would still be the top story for every nightly news network about everything for at least another fucking week, probably 2. But I do wonder how long we're really going to be able to hold on to it. Like, how long are people going to be super focused on this?
I really wonder that too. I mean, if it gives you an idea of where I'm at with the election, I am trying to figure out how to buy 4 years of fucking hormone therapy. So, just, yeah. But
you guys know
some
who I think actually did it? RFK. Think about it. They've got experience with head wounds in their family. He's got nothing to lose here. Maybe he thought, you know what, if I take Trump out, maybe I swoop in. You know?
RFK had the deer in headlights look in that video, didn't he?
Oh my God. He's like, I'm talking to a dead man.
Okay.
He was stopped by the CIA because he insulted them about killing his family. They were just like, oh, this is personal now.
Let's fucking release these two from this hell that we created together.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. All of you guys, thanks for coming on. Andrea, you're the best. Local, you're the best. Sylv, you're the best. Don't pay attention to the fact that would mean that like one of you is not the best, but you know what I mean. If you want more of this, we have a regular show that we do, of course, that comes out twice a month. You can find that on the same thing that you're looking at right now. It's on YouTube and Spotify and all the streaming services in the world. If you want more from us, you can find us on social media at Chaos Magic News on pretty much every single thing you can look for. You get a spicy meme, get a clip from the show, get the occasional insightful tweet. Not really, but, you know, maybe. And if you need more than that, you can go sign up for our Patreon, and it's just the low price of $5 a month. You can hear even more ridiculous thoughts. We're doing an occult iceberg thing right now that you can get down with and hear things that make the rantings of Cohost about this conspiracy sound completely tame. And with that, would anyone like the last word?
Hashtag
put your hands behind your back.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, in the time since this recording, the only major information we've gotten is that the shooter apparently searched for Biden events and Trump events in his area, and also major depressive disorders, so make of that what you will. Alright, we'll see you next time.